Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. Hello, I'm Patrick J. Brown, Executive Director of Culture and Conscience. I'm here with Carmela Head, who's our Director of all of our community and renewal programs. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. How are you? Carmela, how you doing over there? I don't know if I can hear you.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
I see the mic thing popped up. I'm doing fine, hanging in there today. Excited about a new day.
Yes. Wonderful June. Excited about being here, everybody. I want everyone to put in the chat one word, your one word for yourself today. Let's just strengthen our renewal practices today and put in the comments where you are and locate yourself. We're going to get into that. We want to welcome everybody to our Tea Time Tuesday, where we pause, reset, and build resilience. Got a couple of few things we want to go over today as far as our awarenesses that are very, very important to where we are. First one I want to talk about today is really focusing on the fact that we have Alzheimer's Brain and Awareness Month. Now, of course, this is a time for us to really reflect on those that have experienced Alzheimer's, but also those that are advocates, researchers, caretakers, and medical professionals. And so we want to encourage you today to honor those that are really committed to the cause of Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. So again, go ahead and wear your purple as well. All right. Also, June, we focus on men's health as well. Let's go ahead and do this one first. National Cancer Survivors Month. We also here at the Renewal Center want to honor those that have been survivors, overcomers, caretakers, researchers. We're there to support you. And again, let's put at the purple hearts. Let's get at the purple ribbons. Let's go ahead. We want to honor those that are survivors. for National Cancer Survivors Month. All right. Thank you for that. We got two things we want to focus on specifically for men. First of all, June being Men's Health Month, which includes not only physical health but also mental health as well. I want to encourage all the men, and also women, the men in your life. You may be your husband, might be your brother, your uncle, your father, your sons, your nephews. Encourage them to do their check-ins. Okay. I encourage them to close that gap and talk about what they're dealing with in their health, not only physical health, but also their mental health. That is so important. So send a note to them. Hey, we want to encourage them. Let's close this gap of empathy, right? To make sure we're concerned about male vulnerability and looking at their health holistically. And we do that also through Men's Health Week. Men's Health Week this week is we're focusing on that. So if you can, this coming Friday, June 13th, wear a blue ribbon and rock your blue. All right. Rock your blue this coming Friday, your bold blue. And we want to honor men's health. I'm going to do it Friday. I encourage you to do it Friday. I want you to encourage all the men in your life, all the people in your life. Let's do blue so we can concentrate on raising the awareness. Let's talk about this. Let's make sure we participate in this awareness. So rock your blue this coming Friday, all right? We want to emphasize this and is celebrated to educate and bring awareness to men's health issues globally. And we bring renewal. We bring renewal by encouraging and supporting Men's Health Month. So this week, June 9th through the 15th, is recognized as Men's Health Week. So go ahead and let's put some blue hearts out there, some blue ribbons out there for Men's Health Week. We're excited about that. So thank you so much. I'm doing my blue right now today. So we want you to do your blue this week as well as on this coming Friday. Isn't that good, Carmela?
Yeah, I got my blue on, and it's so important. It supports. It shows support. So Friday is a good opportunity. Pull out all your blues and put them on. And if somebody says, "Why are you wearing all that blue?" Because it's Men's Health Week. It's right. Blue Friday.
Absolutely. So tell your sons. Tell all the men in your life, your uncles, whoever they are. Let them know this week. And it's important. Do a check-in with your brothers. Do a check-in. Hey, how you doing over there? What's going on? Encourage them. Do a weigh-in. Do a check-in. Your blood pressure, you name it. And I just really want to take our time and really think about this, how important that is for us to do that. And that's how we bring renewal. All right. So thank you for that. Also, before we go into our Locate Yourself practice, June is actually National Iced Tea Month.
Gosh.
Because it's a lot of stuff going on, but we like tea over here. So good afternoon, Alicia. Hello. Hello, Pamela. Hello. Good to see you all on today. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Renita, how you doing? Got all these words that are coming in, relaxed, focused. All right. Please make sure we get the likes up. Let's get the likes up today if you can. And also, let's share with one another what's happening. All right. Well, what is your tea of choice today? I've actually got my Calm Chamomile tea today. All right. So really excited about just taking our time to engage in our renewal practices today. But I'd like to share with you that our tea of the week is butterfly pea flower iced tea. Now look at that. That is so refreshing. Since it's National Iced Tea Month, the thing about this tea is you don't have to do food color for this tea. You just simply put the pea flowers in there, and then the bright blue color will come out when it's soaked. And then what you do is you mix it with like a lime or a lemon juice. And what it does is it transforms it into this beautiful shade of royal purple, a striking hue of this. I'm actually going to try that in honor of Men's Health. I'm going to make me some butterfly pea flower tea. I'm going to try to find this and then see maybe I can rock my blue and eat my and have a drink of this nice iced tea. So try it out. See what happens. All right. So really excited about that. You put some honey in it, maybe some lemon slices, and some optional juices, and that'll really ignite the flavor. All right, so let's go and see what your tea of choice is today. Peach passion fruit, okay? All right. Camilla, what you got over there?
I'm joining Pamela today. Now, normally I have my tea, but today I have water too. I need a
Okay.
little bit extra hydration today, so I got
All
water.
right. All right. All right. Got your water. All right. I just ordered butterfly pizza. Okay. Well, Sharon, let us know how that tastes, actually. Be interesting to find that out. I've never had it before. So it'd be interesting to find out how that tastes. All right. Water on today. All right. All right. Well, let's get the likes up, everyone. Please encourage others. Share this with others. Just share the link, drop it to your friends so that we can connect and we can all come together and enjoy our renewal practices today. All right. So we're going to go into a time of locating ourselves and centering ourselves for the next few moments, just so that we can locate yourself. Got my journal, grab your journal. I have my tea. All right. We're pausing, we're resetting, and then we're going to build resilience. And so that's what we're going to do today. So just center yourself, find a good posture, and let's locate ourselves, and we'll be back. Just take a nice deep breath and just go one more round. Mm. All right. How was that, everyone? How was that?
Mm.
All right. Excellent. Thank you so much for participating as we centered ourselves. And now we're going to go into our renewal practices with Carmela today.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. And I hope everybody is relaxed on this Tuesday afternoon. I know I am, especially after looking at that. I don't know where that is. It's some tropical place, but running water always seems to bring calm to me. So I really enjoyed that. Hey, before we get started today, today's a very special day. And so we want to give a shout out to our executive director, Patrick J. Brown, because today is his birthday. So let's fill the chat with a happy birthday. You know, we're excited. We had a celebration for him on Sunday, and so today we're gonna go ahead and let it rip with all of the happy birthdays. So happy birthday to you, Patrick.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.
We have to put
Thank
the
you.
other one up, but happy birthday,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
many more.
Thank
Yes,
you.
happy
Thank
birthday
you
one
so
more
much.
time.
I'm so
Uh-huh.
thank you.
It's always fun to have a little, birthday celebration with all of the confetti going on and the balloons. And
Yes.
why not?
Yes. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
special day. So it's really, yes, I see some comments coming in. It's good
Thank
to see everybody relaxing and enjoying um, all of the relaxation of locating ourselves. And happy birthday. Hey, sis. Yes, it's really nice. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much. Well, grab your journals. I hope you guys got your journals. And once again, invite someone to come in and join us today. This is the month of June. And, last year and the year prior for Tea Time Tuesday, I did this. I did like a mid-year check. And so we're going to talk about having a mid-year check and just kind of see where we are with everything. It gets really easy to kind of gloss over a little bit of the renewal practices, and we can't seem to fill it all up. But sometimes taking the time to go back to see where are you with all of the renewal practice, and how are you applying them? How is it working for you? And so I'm going to start off today with our June mid-year checkup. Okay. And so I'm entitling this. I know you guys saw the title already when you looked at the Zoom, not the Zoom, I mean the YouTube slide. Okay, so we're going to talk about stay tuned, practice performance. Stay tuned. I couldn't wait to do this. I had this in the bag a while back, but I didn't use it. So today I said, I'm going to use it today. Stay tuned. Practicing peak performance. Okay, so if everybody looks at the screen, there's something really interesting going on the screen here. Especially there's an instrument in the very middle of the slide. Can somebody put in the chat what they think that might be? Take a look at that. And then look at what the other things are surrounding it. Stay tuned. Practicing peak performance. Did everybody get a look at that? What do they think that instrument is in the middle? That thing, that object in the middle? Well, I see some remarks coming in. I think some people are still thinking. Let's see. She says, love that tuning fork idea. Thank you, Pamela. We're going to go back to that. What do you all think you see? Okay. Sharon noticed the trumpet. Okay. What else are you noticing in the picture? I'll show the picture again. And this is to jumpstart. This is actually to jumpstart our renewal practice today. If you take a look at all of the different things in there, what do you happen to see on the outline of the picture? Sharon is saying she sees a trumpet. Anything else? Anyone else wants to put something else in the chat of what they see? And what do you observe in the center of the picture, that object in the middle? Patrick, you see something special in the middle? What is that you see?
The tuner device, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put that back up again. Today, we're going to talk about staying tuned, practicing peak performance. Okay. I see some other things come in. Let's see who else is saying that. The tuning fork. Yes. Okay. Hi, Charlize. It's good to see you this afternoon, too. Yes. And so let's take another look at the picture, and I'm going to just chat a little bit. As we're looking at this, practicing peak performance is usually done when there needs to be some kind of tuning, right? Think about it. I want you to look at the instruments, all of the instruments on here. Now, this is a tuning device that's used for pianos and, other instruments of the like. And it's it's called a tuning hammer, actually. And there's another name for it, another, scientific name for it. But the tuning hammer is there to adjust the tensions of the strings. Isn't that interesting? When you think about different instruments, of course, we just pick the instruments up or we just play the instrument and, we forget that sometimes they'll need to be tuned, right? Okay, let's see. We got Sharon is saying I had to adjust my screen, music notes, and the other instruments, fine tuning. Oh my goodness, Sharon, you are on top of this. Okay, she's on top of this. Pamela is saying instruments, sheet music, string instruments, vibrations. Yes. Tanya, the tuning fork. Right. Thank you. Thank you, Monique. One of our ministry leaders is saying happy birthday to you. Thank you, Charlie. Yes.
Thank you again. Thank you.
And tuning instrument. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Alicia. Okay, as we take a look at that, basically that instrument again is a tuning hammer. It's used to tune different instruments. It's, piano. As a piano player, I know much about that. Patrick, I know you might know a lot about that as well. And I'm pretty sure other musicians are aware of that tuning hammer or that instrument that's used to adjust the lenses, not the lenses, the tension of the strings on the piano. Okay. As I want you guys to go on a journey with me as we talk about tuning up. Okay, it's time to tune up. And we're going to talk about not just tuning up, but fine tuning. So we're going to talk about that today. All of our renewal practices from the beginning of this year. I'm just going to go on a journey. You guys join in with me. I know you guys have your, if you don't have your tea time journal, just think back on some of the broadcasts that we've had. I want you to think about vision. I want you to think about all of the things we've talked about. Seizing an opportune moment. Those were the broadcasts we talked about during tea time. Adapting and cultivating resilient mindset. How many of you guys were there for that one? Okay. We had a journaling session where we talked about journaling and how we can use that to help us. The power of a great question, how to ask great questions. Think about what we talked about during that broadcast. Safeguarding your well-being in times of upheaval. Okay, do you guys remember that? What did you write in your renewal practice? What did you write? What did you jot down? What jumped out to you that you want to work on some things? And then how about the inspiration of devotion? We talked about building resilience and building our dreams and looking at our passions and overcoming obstacles. If you can remember that, think about that. How about how to cultivate a growth mindset? And how are we willing to learn? How are we willing to grow? And so Tea Time Tuesday, we're here to pause, reset, and build resilience. And over time, as we are taking the opportunity to go back through our renewal practices, sometimes we can find some gems in there. We can find some jewels in there. Patrick, you want to go ahead and you want to say something about that?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about how, as you relate to tuning, it's causing me to think about how we can use this tuner mindset and adjust to those practices and not just let them pass us by.
Right. Not just let us, right. Because we accumulate journal after journal for our tea time journal. So how are we using it? So I think it's a good idea. Here's June. Let's do a mid-June, a mid-year check on how we're doing. Thank you, Patrick, for sharing that. Monique is coming in with something. You want to read Monique's?
Yes, these topics have all been instrumental in shaping how I think, lead, and live.
I love that. This is good. And I like that she shared that, because if you're intentionally making it personal, then like she says, that these are shaping, these are actually being a part of her daily routine or even her practices of how she does things. It's a great idea to actually go back and say, how am I using this? So think about this, you all. How do you resonate with building? How about this one? Safeguarding your well-being. Remember we talked about that? We talked about conscious composure, focusing on our attention and being intentional about things. How about rewriting mental narratives? Did you pull or extract anything from that? Or what about pulling out all the stops, about going beyond and looking at possibilities and using up all your available resources? So if you're new to Tea Time Tuesday and you haven't joined in, that's okay, because we're going to kind of tap in and talk about this in our dialogue. Maybe there's some things that you want to tune up or to fine tune, and we're going to talk about that. Different areas of your life that might need some attention. How about maximizing by resetting and revisiting your resources again? Resilient thinking, we talked about that. Enjoying a joy-filled state of mind. How about reclaiming your peace? What did you learn about being still? What did you learn about peace in your life? And igniting change through mental health awareness. We talked about that. Also, the power of releasing. So think about all of these things during mental health awareness. How did this help? Navigating, getting clarity. So as we are thinking about all of these things in different areas of our lives, and maybe you may have not tuned in, maybe there's something that didn't jump out, but think about where you are with your vision personally, with the strategies that you want to work on in 2025, maybe the things you want to relearn, unlearn. Maybe there's some concepts or some things you might want to tweak. You want to learn about yourself or learn about others, Or maybe there's some times we talked about really just getting quiet and maximizing your peace, maximizing your time, looking within, being self-aware. All of these things we learn on Tea Time Tuesday as renewal practices. So how can we apply that today? What does that have to do with us? So Patrick, I'm going to share something, and I would like for you to jump in with me on this.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Can you talk to us at what's on the screen about peak performance?
Sure. Peak performance is considered to be performing at your best level, exceptional functioning, achieving your highest level of being, effective and efficient. Reset.
Yes. And again, as Patrick has said this, if you take a look at the instrument, one of the things we want to do, with all of these renewal practices, maybe we want to look at it as getting to a place of peak performance. That doesn't mean that we're trying to be perfect. It's just maximizing where we are, being the best at what we can be in that level. Being exceptionally functioning in that area. Maybe it's peace you want to do better in. Maybe you want to be effective and efficient on managing where you are during times of upheaval. Maybe you might want to be a little bit more performing on your peak performance with your resilient thinking, or maybe incorporating joy in your life, more joy, more peace. We talked about love. We talked about all of these things, loving ourselves, self-grace. This is a way of resetting ourselves. And this is not just a way of just saying that we're becoming better at something, but peak performance is something that we should acquire in our lives to be. We should want to do better in an area. We can't maximize every single renewal practice, but whatever we do receive, maybe there's some aspect of that we can take time to stay tuned. Stay tuned. And so, Patrick, is there something you want to say before I go to the next slide?
Oh, no, I am thinking about the word efficient. Mm-hmm. And if you can bring that up, you talk about achieving your highest level, being effective and efficient. And I encourage everyone, as Carmela's taking us through this, is really take some time when we think about tuning, look at where you're effective and where you're not effective, and where you're efficient and where you're not efficient. And that's what I'm thinking right now as I'm writing down some things. I wrote down review progress and discuss challenges. And as a way of just fine tuning some things, kind of tweaking it. Mm-hmm. You tune, okay, make sure you're on the right tune. You make sure you're on the right tune. Ding. Okay. And so it made me think about that as it relates to the imagery that you brought forward. So I want to share that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Tea Time community, go ahead and start putting any reflections, any aha moments, anything that jumps out right now, anything that you can share with the other Tea Time community about what you're thinking. What is this? How is this resonating with you today? I want to start off with this. There's a difference between fine tuning and tuning up. There's a little bit of difference between that, but they're both necessary. So let's take a look at fine tune. As we look at the screen and we see fine tune, we see these instruments. There's a commonality here. The device that was used earlier that we would, the tuning device. If we look at fine tuning, this is what we find out. Fine tuning is making improvements through minor revisions or making precise adjustments. So we don't just throw the piano out because it's off tune. We don't just throw it all. Well, we can't play it the way we need to play it. But it doesn't sound right. But if we take the time to get someone to come in and tune it, and they're making the minor adjustments there, that makes a big difference, because over time you just come back and you refine it and you fine tune it a little bit more, and to keep the longevity of the instrument going. It makes a lot of sense to fine tune some things. One of the things I was thinking about when I was thinking about fine tuning, to make it practical, not just the tuning instrument, but how about if we lose weight? I'm just throwing that as an example. we lose weight. We don't necessarily say you just lose pounds, but it's enough that you want to keep an outfit. Well, what do? We get the needle and the thread. We go to a tailor or seamstress, let them take it in according to your measurements. And now you're fine tuning a little bit more of what you're wearing to adjust to make the minor necessary adjustments so that you can keep wearing it. You want to maximize it. You want to be more efficient. You don't want to just throw it out altogether. So that's just kind of like an example of fine tuning. Maybe there's an aspect that you want to tweak. And we heard that earlier, that word tweak. Fine tune, you want to make the adjustments to the point to where you are precise. It takes precision, where you're razor focused on, making adjustments. The seamstress is razor focused on making the adjustments and the measurements of adjusting or, taking up that jacket or taking up those pants and making minor alterations, not just all it together. Okay, we're just going to just throw it away. And so if we look at the instruments, that's a good example of fine tuning something. You're just making the minor adjustments so that you can keep it in maximum performance, peak performance. I'm going to go to the chat. I see some things coming in here. Okay. Thank you, Charlisa. She's saying fine tuning versus tuning up. Okay. So Monique is coming. She says, I have to self-assess to examine where I am in these areas. Next, I must be honest with myself and begin working on things that need improving. Yes. And thank you, Monique, for sharing that. I like how she was saying, being honest. It's being razor focused and being detailed about, I see there needs some work. I'm going to pick this area out. I'm going to extract this area out in my life, and I'm going to find strategies. I'm going to find a way that I can, really begin working on these things and being honest. Patrick, you want to share?
I'll read Pamela's, then I'll, because I'm reviewing the difference in tunes and tones that may need to be adjustments. I'm over here thinking about, what you wrote, making improvements through minor alterations or revisions. And I thought about precision and how important it is when you're precise. Many times you just need to pause and really focus on what is out of adjustment, what is out of alignment, or you have to step back and notice what you need to work on. And there's some humility there. There's some humility in making adjustments. So I'm organizing that. And then also perhaps documenting what's needs to be fine-tuned and the importance of documentation when you're fine-tuning. So those are just a few of the thoughts that are coming to my mind right now.
I like that, because documenting, okay, you're using your senses, you're thinking it through, you're writing it down. You can make it a habit. You can develop strategies. You have something to look at, and it holds you accountable. And I like that. So that's being intentional. How am I going to make my adjustments in my life with this, or in my next steps? This is a great way of looking at it. It's just making precise changes, not major changes. We're fine-tuning it so that it will perform at peak performance. I like that. Okay, so let's take a look. Now, we just got through talking about going to the slide again. Fine-tuning, right? I'm going to review this real quick. Fine-tuning, making improvements through minor alterations or revisions, and making precise adjustments. Okay, let's tune up. Let's take a look at this picture. So if someone says, I'm going to find, and sometimes these two words are used simultaneously, so it kind of sounds the same, but we already seen what fine tuning is, being razor focused about that, being really meticulous about it. Okay, now we're looking at tune up. Okay, this is the heavy duty one. If you look at the screen, all right, we see a commonality of these items on the screen. We see a computer, phone, a laptop. We see a house, appliances. We see even a car. Okay, Pat, you want to, and Teton community, go ahead and chime in. What's the commonality of these pictures? Patrick, you want to share what you see in that?
Yeah, bring that up again one more time. So for me, when I look at this, well, of course, my eyes go directly to the laptop in the car and dial. But one of the things that I'm thinking about is it in good working order?
Mm-hmm.
I also think about comprehensive. I hate to use that word, but just that's what comes to my mind. Comprehensive inspections. I think about specifications.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my mind goes to, okay, is it in good working order, and also does it meet the manufacturer's
Mm-hmm. Right.
specifications? I guess So when I think about a tune-up, that's what I think about. Is it working the way it's supposed to? Does it meet the standard? Or are you putting fake parks in there?
Wow, you going in.
Oh, oh yeah.
That's
I know
good.
generic cars. It needs to be like, okay, this is this kind of car. You need to put some real
Right.
parts.
Okay, I like that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. And you know what? We can all extract something from this picture when we are relating it to a tune-up. If somebody says it needs a tune-up, then our mind thinks about, okay, what do we have to do to these items to tune them up? Let's take a look at the difference between fine tune and tune up. And Teton community, make this personal. Make this personal about all the things that we have talked about in Tea Time Tuesday over the last, what is this, going into month 6. So here it is. Tune up. When you're practicing peak performance, Patrick, would you like to read these?
Sure. Practice and peak performance, tune up, routine maintenance, making inspections, preventative maintenance, replacement of wear and tear. That was exactly on my mind. This is good stuff. Uh-huh.
Thank you for reading that. Okay, so hold that thought, Teton community. You see these specifications of tune-up. Now go back and look at the picture. Each one of these items will need a tune up. And the difference between fine tuning and tuning up is the fact that there has to be more routine. It's more practice going into making inspections. Now we're looking at the car. We don't necessarily have to fine tune, but now we got to tune up. We got to look at doing some things to prevent it from breaking down. We've got to look at routine maintenance all the time. That's why we go take our car in, to get it checked out. And I thought about the battery the other day in my car. I'm just giving this away. I was doing something, and we had to look up under the hood, and it was a little bit of rusty looking stuff and all that. And as I was taking a look at that, that's a good example to see that you have to do preventive maintenance on it, or the battery there'll be something wrong to compromise the battery. So fine tuning is a little different than tuning up. Tuning up, it's more maintenance because you want to prevent something from breaking down. So as you look at all of the Tea Time Tuesday renewal practices, what area do you want to put more focus on maintaining? I want to maintain this, or it's a part of my life that I really need to do, periodic visits on. Okay, how am I doing with peace? How am I doing with resilient thinking? How am I doing with that? How can I sharpen that? And so when we're taking the time to tune something up, this is actually inspecting to see what's right, what's wrong, what's needed, what you need more of. What do one of the things I'm thinking about is the refrigerator, all of our appliances, the wiring and our cars. All of these things have these mechanisms in there that have to have not precision, more or less, but more routine maintenance so that it will run on peak performance. Tea Time community, have any of y'all had any my appliances broke down? My car is acting strange. And you got to get somebody to come in and check the air conditioner because it's not running efficiently. And once you take it in, or once you get a technician to come take a look at it, they're doing an assessment. They're looking to see, let's inspect this thing to see how is it malfunctioning, or maybe nothing's wrong with it. Maybe you do your midsummer check on your AC. to make sure that it, change the filters or whatever. But what's running good, what's needed. So let's apply that to our tea time practices. What's needed? What routine maintenance in my own journey do I need to be looking at? And what do I need to do to, as preventive maintenance for this year, for next year coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is with the part of tuning up, that's also replacement of wear and tear, because something might be really worn out. So now we have to almost replace it. That's the difference between fine tuning and tuning something up. Okay, let's tune it back up. Let's add a little bit more of this to build it back up. Maybe we need some more wiring. Maybe we need something new added. And so I'm gonna ask you, what do you think, Patrick?
Wow, this is great. I am actually over here thinking about, first of all, what you wrote down about tune up, retuning maintenance, making inspections. So I began to look at myself where I am currently. And I wrote down a couple of things. One is when you're doing a tune up, personally, practical application, I have to have open Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't just go there and, here's what's happening to the car. You got to talk to the technician. Here's what's happening with me. So, am I capturing my key takeaways? I'm just reading from a journal here. And then taking accountability for a future follow-up. Because if they give you a date and say, come back on this date so that you can focus on what you need to do next, and I just ignore it and say, oh, I'll come back another time. Now I'm over by 90 days. I didn't take accountability. I didn't do the follow-up. So for me, I'm thinking about that personally and professionally, making sure I'm open to open Q&A and that I'm capturing key takeaways for my own personal tune-up.
I like that. I like how you said that, open to Q&A. That means answering questions, posing questions. How am I doing? Where am I in the scheme of things? I really like that. Yeah. And Charlisa, she came in with a comment. She said, in order to operate efficiently, we must check in periodically, just like what you were saying, to ensure that it functions accurately and effectively. Let's make this practical. Remember, we talked about having a joy-filled state of being. And I remember talking about the volcano and how we get to a point where we get, we're holding things in so much that it could turn into a volcano or, burnout. So what is something practical that we can do? Maybe I need to, let's fine tune the area of doing better with just taking the time to rest, taking the time to pause, taking the time to think things through a little bit. Maybe I need to tune up and go walking and bring some more time of stillness, build that back into the equation. These are different ways to look at how to make it relevant in our lives every day as tea timers. I see some other remarks coming in here. Alicia is saying they all need maintenance, updates to function in its most optimum state. Absolutely. Patrick, you want to take the next few?
Yes, Sharon, taking time to nurture and restore essentials.
Yes, thank you for that.
Absolutely. Hey, Keisha, how are you doing? Great day to you as well. Good to have you on. Yes.
I see Pamela's coming in with a remark as well.
That's important because the item can fall out of warranty. If we exceed the possible date of expiration and then repair can be expensive. Better safe than sorry, huh? So, let's do the maintenance. It's good. Camilla, I just want to add something else that I'm writing just in my time of renewal.
Go ahead.
I wrote down 2 words: recap and refocus.
Okay.
And so when they do that diagnostic, right, on your maintenance, they're going to recap. Here's what we did. Here's what we suggest. Now, of course, folks want to try to make you pay for stuff, but here's my point. Here's a recap of what we're seeing in our diagnostic, right? So I need to revisit. To me, I'm thinking about this being a check-in during the middle of the year. Let's revisit some of our takeaways and action items from our previous check-ins. And that'll help me ensure my own personal alignment. And then also, let's revisit some of our takeaways and action items from our previous check-ins. And that'll help me ensure my own personal alignment. And then also, let's revisit some of our takeaways and action items from our previous check-ins. And that'll help me ensure my own personal alignment. And then also, let's revisit some of our takeaways and action items from our previous check-ins. And that'll help me ensure my own personal alignment. And then also, let's revisit some of our takeaways and action items from our previous check-ins. And that'll help me ensure my own personal alignment. And then also, let's revisit some of our takeaways and action items from our previous check-ins. And that'll help me ensure my own personal alignment. And then also, let's revisit some of our takeaways and action items from our previous check-ins. And that'll help me ensure my own personal alignment. And then also, let's revisit some of our takeaways and action items from our previous check-ins. And that'll And I think also one of the key things I'm thinking about, Carmela, is maintaining continuity as well, continuity of performance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, this is
as it
good.
relates to the title today about peak performance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Mm.
and speak a little bit more about continuity real quick before we.
Sure, because when I have continuity, if I'm recapping and refocusing on continuity, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that whatever I learned in January from our previous tea times, or in our instance, may be something that somebody's being coached in, or a growth area. I'm when I do regular tune ins or tune ups, excuse me, or fine tuning, I establish continuity, consistency of growth, consistency of my transformation. If I just don't do that, how do I know what my benchmarks are? How do we even know if I'm growing? So it helps you
Mm.
track. Actually, it's a way of self affirming
Yeah,
as well,
it
because
is.
you're not saying, well, I grew. I wasn't really doing this in January, but now here I am in June and I've grown in that area. And it helps you have
Mm-hmm.
some sense of celebration or self affirmation about an area that you're growing in it. We need to do more of that. So thank you for that.
I like that. Thank you. This is good. This is how we can extract from our renewal practices is
Mm,
looking how we can fine tune and tune up. What's rusty. Think about, oh, this is a little rusty, this
mm,
area. Well, how can I, tune up, get it better? And how can I do my maintenance check on things? So with that being said, let's do maybe let's put that into practice really quick and think about this. We want to pause. We want to kind of slow down and reset. This is the 6 month and look at all of our renewal practices. Ask yourself, how am I practicing peak performance? And that's something you can do over time. Maybe not today. It might not come to, mind today, but over time, maybe this week, this weekend, next week. In what areas will I need to fine tune? What do I need to be more precise about, with my goals, my vision, or where I am? And what do I need to tune up? What do I
mm,
need to start trying to do some maintenance, routine maintenance, or make an inspection about where I am, and preventive maintenance? So, for later. And maybe I may need to replace a few things, because of wear and tear. That means I need to adapt or adopt some new practices that I can, use. And so, renewers, tea time community. This I will put this on our Facebook page, and think about some things that renewal practices, or maybe some other things that we've talked about, kind of as a sidebar. And what are you doing in your life, or some things that you want to change, update, tweak? And I just want to say something here. As I was writing my notes, something came to my mind as don't go overboard. It's not about going overboard, because what would happen if the person who tuned the guitar tuned it way too tight? Now we're popping strings, so we don't want to exhaust ourselves, or push the limit of it. It's just
mhm.
making the minor adjustments for peak performance, and that could be in any area. Okay, so let me see if you put your takeaways in the chat. And I see a remark coming in. Thank you, Monique. I'm glad it was helpful. If there's any takeaways or anything that you feel you might want to extract from this today that you can apply, go ahead and put it in the chat. Share it with the other Tea Time community members. And that way we can, yes, thank you. Patrick is saying review progress. Yeah, that's a great way. That's a great way. It's important to do regular checks, because we don't want to burn out. We don't want to get, let it go too long and be like that rusty battery. Then you might end up having to replace it. But if you would just tune up as you go along and do maintenance check, you can see if there's something that's going wrong, and stop it before it gets to another place, right? Patrick,
Mhm.
is there anything you would like to share before we close out on Tea Time Tuesday today?
Yeah. I was writing down a couple of my takeaways. One is, of course, review progress, discuss challenges, seeking feedback. One of the things, Carmela, I was asked today by someone who was checking in just today on my birthday specifically, but they asked a question about something very potent. And the question was, what is the greatest question you have ever asked yourself today? And so I asked myself a question for my own personal recap, Carmela, and now I didn't know we were going to do this engagement, so I appreciate it. My question was, how can I take care of my being while I'm serving others in a healthy way? And I began to think about how I'm fine tuning my well being. And also, one of the things I want to say is that I was working on a performance goal, Carmela, this year. And one of the things I was learning was, how can I say more with less words in certain presentations. So I've been fine tuning on certain executive presentations, different types of environments. So what this is doing now is helping me go back and say, okay, let me rethink, revise, recap all those areas. So again, those are just my takeaways. So thank you. Thank you very much. It's been very helpful to notice differences between those two.
Thank you. Thank you. And I had to learn that too. It was a little, I was like, oh, that sounds the same. But I took opportunity to see there's a little bit of a difference there in how we can apply it. Thank you, Renita. Thank you, sis. Appreciate that. And I see Pamela's takeaway. Yes, thank you. So we really appreciated that you all have joined us today. And I know we're going to try to stay within our time parameters. So I'm going to turn this over to Patrick so he could kind of tell you how you can be involved with the Renewal Center and how
All
you
right.
can support the Renewal Center. Oh, we got another. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. All
Okay.
right, everybody. This check-in is about application. So let's make sure we do application. All right. Thank you again for tuning in to our Tea Time Tuesday. We pause, reset, and build resilience. We appreciate Carmela's presentation on our renewal practices today. And these are ways you can support the Renewal Center. If this is your first time or you're a current Tea Timer, we want you to be a part of our community through our digital giving. You can give through our website, therenewalcenters.com/give. You can also text Renewal Center to the 888-364-4483 number. We also have PayPal and Zelle, which is our email address, therenewalcenter2020@gmail.com. Our Cash App is Cash Renewal Center, and then our Venmo is at Renewal Center. You can also mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1381, Concord, North Carolina 28026. I want you to think about it. First of all, thank you for your giving. Thank you for being a partner with the Renewal Center and considering us as a place of supporting us as a nonprofit organization. So I want to thank you for that as well. A few other announcements I want to make. Also, this coming summer, we have our 3 Renewal Summer Prayers starting tomorrow. So the 3 dates are June 11th, July 9th, and August 13th. Please join us, our community, on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. There's a Zoom ID in the password. It is the same link for reforming culture and also for the women at the well. So if you're part of those two communities, you can connect with us starting tomorrow, 7:30, June 11th, and then July 9th and August 13th. We look forward to seeing you there tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also throughout our summer, every Friday, we've had an incredible time of prayer each and every Friday morning. Again, same link, 6:30 a.m. It really, really helps solidify your Friday and your entire weekend. And so we want to encourage you to be a part of that community as well. You don't have to come on the camera. Just come into the space of prayer, a space of meditating on the word, a time for us to commune with each other and commune with the Lord. And so we want to encourage you each Friday at 6:30 a.m. Also, want to remind you of our digital discipleship each and every Sunday for digital discipleship at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to encourage you, you can go to our mobile app, to our website, also to our social media sites so that you can participate in our fellowship. If you're at a space where saying, I want community, I want to connect, we'd love to have you. We welcome you into this space because we want to offer who we are to reveal Christ, renew minds, restore lives, and reform culture through the New You digital discipleship. We look forward to seeing you there. Also encourage you, we do have grief recovery services. Currently, we do have individual grief sessions. If you're dealing with any form of loss, whether it's loss of a person, that could be job, it could be health concerns, whatever space in life you're in, we have individual grief recovery specialists on our team that can help you. Please contact us, all right, at our Renewal Center, the Renewal Center 2020 at gmail.com. Contact us. We look forward to you being a part of us. Just inbox us on any of our sites, and we would love to be able to serve you in that way. We thank you so much for this. I also want to remind you this last Saturday, Carmela, who is one of our pastors and leaders here in our ministry, they have monthly Women at the Well. So I want to encourage you, please go through all of our other sessions, our other announcements, stay abreast of what's happening with that as well. So I want to thank everybody for being a part of what we do here at the Renewal Center.
Thank you, Patrick.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. It is 1 o'clock. So I'm trying to stay on time. Did get a few takeaways. Again, I'll just flash these across the screen. And we do want to thank each and every one of you for being with us today. Renewal practices, are great ways for us to become better, to, be able to become better in all that we are. And so we want to thank all of you for your takeaways. And thank you for engaging with us today. Please share this with others so they can come and join us next time for IT Time Tuesday. And we're going to go ahead and close out. Anything you want to say before we close out, Patrick?
Oh, no, it was great, Carmela. Thank you so much for the focus on fine-tuning and tuning up.
Okay. Everyone, have a wonderful Tuesday. And remember that I am Renewal, and take care of each other. We will see you again next week. Have a good day.